But let's say that. Listen, okay, let's say somebody loves living for himself. Let's say I love living for myself. Okay, I love living for myself. I hate the idea that there's someone who's going to govern me or be an authority over me. And so the question becomes, how can I justify living for myself without at the same time being held responsible to this one who has more authority than I do? And so one of the greatest excuses out there is atheism. Because it's an attempt, and I don't even know, again, if you can rationalize. I don't know if you rationalize it, atheists. I don't know if they probably, for most of them, they don't think through it. But here's the thing, man. I know for a fact that what you're doing is you're trying to protect yourself from feeling the pangs of your conscience. And you're thinking, okay, if I can eradicate God altogether, then I can just live freely without having to worry about anybody holding me accountable for this sin that I love. Atheism. You see what I mean? Agnosticism does the same thing. They just try to be more intellectual about it. They like to.
No, they're not intellectual. I think like agnostic is just like when they're like trying to put in something like in between. It's just that they're more into what you're saying. They want to like be more sinful, I guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, to me they're the same, because they both deny the God that they know exists. They're looking for a loophole to escape that God that they don't want to exist. You know what I mean? And atheists have always been around. It's not like just in the last 200 years because people are like, oh, science has told us we should be atheists. Absolutely not. And that leads me into my second point, okay? As an atheist, see, here's the thing. As a Christian, modern science came out of Christianity.
Yep.
Okay, you agree with that?
Yeah.
And that's because Christianity recognizes that there's a God in the universe who creates the universe in such a way that it's orderly, it's rational, it's repeatable, it's consistent. You have to have that kind of universe to do modern science.
Mm-hmm. But on my own end, I found like mathematics very actually kind of satisfying, because you see that a lot of equations actually look very neat in the end once you finish. And saying that, it sometimes points out to how the universe is so neatly created. Saying that math and science.
I agree, no, 100%. But mathematics, I make the same argument. Mathematics is built on the foundation of God. God is the reason mathematics are true. And according to, okay,
that's true.
Okay, so you acknowledge that. Now, my friend, you said you're an atheist, though. Are you saying what I'm saying, though?
Because I'm seeing from your perspective.
Okay.
If you believe in God, then that follows up with following physical, what we see.
Because God is true
as nature.
Now, let me ask you a question, my friend. Help me see it from your point of view, why it is that you can say truth exists. Like, what's truth to you as an atheist? Define it for me.
Something that is true. Okay.
Not something that is true. What is truth? How can you verify that something's true? And I'm not saying like instrument. You can't.
This existentialism proves that you can't.
No, existentialism doesn't prove that. Existentialism is not about that.
A little bit. It's a little bit more in depth once you like start to understand. It's sometimes you see that when people say, "If I can think, I can exist," right? That's the usual.
No, that's not. That's rationalism. That's Descartes.
Yeah.
That's not existentialism. That's not existentialism. Listen, man. I'm telling you, that's not. I've studied that stuff for 8 years, and okay. Because here's the thing: truth itself, though, is what I'm talking about. What is truth itself?
Something that is undeniable.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything called truth that exists?
Say that again.
Is there anything in the universe? Is there a concept of truth in the universe? I mean, is it real? Is truth real? Can you be certain about anything?
No.
You can't be certain about anything?
You can't be 100% certain about anything.
Okay, are you certain about that?
No, that's kind of the paradox.
No, that's a contradiction.
Contradiction, yes.
Okay, so you telling me you're certain that there's no such thing as certainty? Would you say do you believe in absolute truth?
Nope.
Say no. Okay, now let me ask you a question, okay? So if there's, I don't want to misrepresent you, true or false. It is absolutely true that there is no such thing as absolute truth.
Oh God, you're blowing my mind.
What do you think? You see, and the reason I'm pointing this out, man, is because I want to help you see the absurdity of an atheistic or agnostic worldview. I know that truth exists because that's the way that God has created the universe. God himself is truth, and he's created the universe in such a way that because you're made in the image of God, you correspond to the universe that he has made, which includes truth and the laws of logic and mathematics. All of these things have been built into the system, the universe that God has created. Same thing with morality. See, as an atheist, I could challenge you and say, tell me as an atheist why it is that pedophilia is evil.
Okay.
And what would you say?
The reason why pedophilia
is evil.
Because we see it as immoral right now, and yes, society has changed since then. I guess maybe pedophilia could have been good somewhere else. Pedophilia.
Let's say mass genocide. Let's say slavery.
Okay.
See, as a Christian, I can say that man stealing is wrong because God forbids it.
Okay.
Slavery is wrong. Slavery is a moral evil. I can say that as a Christian, right? Now, I know that you would say the same thing. You'd agree with that?
Yeah.
Right? Now, but here's the thing. As an atheist, how can you justify that slavery is wrong, or man stealing? Let's say sex trafficking, something like that. Why is that wrong for an atheist?
Because we're abusing human lives.
Okay, now would you say that the human life has more value than, let's say, a cow? Or are they equal?
The human is.
The human has more value? Why?
Because the more experience and the more work it can do on an intellectual level or physical level should prove more value.
But there's no inherent dignity or worth in the human being, so that if a cow at some time in the evolutionary process became, let's say, more practically valuable than a human being, you would say now the cow is more important than the human being?
Yes, because it's not about potential, it's what is given right now.
Oh.
So I'm saying that
So society says that mass genocide and slavery is evil. Therefore it's evil?
Follow the bandwagon appeal, I guess so.
Is that what you would think?
Yeah.
So would you say that morality is dictated by society?
Some part of it.
Okay, which parts are not dictated by society?
Legislative and I would say
society didn't dictate that? That's the way to
I mean, you can't really account for diversity in a small group. So even though it does sort of counteract with some diverse cultures, some ideas may have not gone through legislative because there's not enough.
But what about morality, though? I'm talking about morality. Okay, right and wrong. Okay, so who dictates what's right and wrong? Who dictates, here's the question, who dictates that slavery is wrong?
General populace.
Okay, so the society, the culture.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? I don't want to, okay. So if you're saying society dictates what's right or what's wrong, what happens when a society like we had in the 1800s in the United States of America says that slavery is acceptable? Because according to that kind of logic, society or slavery would have to be acceptable.
Yep.
And the problem becomes, how can you ever abolish slavery if society has already determined that it's morally acceptable, and you, according to your standard of morality, whatever society says is acceptable. So it would be immoral for somebody to try to abolish slavery.
Yep. That.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that because.
So slavery should have never been abolished. Then is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that.
Or
what's up, Jake?
What's up, Jake? Or mass genocide in the 1940s, Nazi Germany, Hitler destroying Jews. You would have to, okay, that society said that was acceptable. Mm-hmm. So according to your standard of morality, nobody should have the right to come to Hitler and say this is morally unacceptable. Is that what you're saying? Well, that is what you're saying, but
yeah,
you see how that's illogical.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. You see what I mean? And again, the problem becomes, as an atheist, that's all you have.
A lot of contradictions, huh?
Big time. And as a Christian, it's the opposite. I know man stealing is wrong. Why? Because God tells us not to steal men. Every human being is made in the image of God. Every human being has worth, has value, has dignity. They're more. That's why we eat cows and not humans. And I mean that's the reality. And so, like, when you follow, all we're trying to say is, listen, man, Christianity is true. That's why we believe it. It's true.
How do you know?
Okay, let's start all over. All right. So what's your name again, Jake?
Jake.
Okay. So Jake, what is truth?
Facts. They can be
No,
statistically
facts.
proven.
Okay. But
Facts are true.
okay, my friend, though, to consistently prove something presupposes that truth is out there that you can hold up the fact to and evaluate whether it's true or false.
Yes.
Okay. What is that truth?
Well, it depends on what are you pertaining to. What are you asking?
Truth.
What is truth?
What is truth?
Truth is something that you can prove time and time again through variable testing that has been proven to work.
No, that's an example of something that is true.
No, that's how you prove something to be true.
Okay, same thing. Where does the truth part come from? You're because what you're doing is this. You're saying, okay, so truth is something you take a fact, and because there's truth out there, you can evaluate that thing and come up with either say this is true or false based on the truth that's already out there. But you have to have something that is already there that allows you to evaluate the object to see whether or not it's true.
Yes, that would be the fact. It's the other way around. You have to have facts in order to evaluate if something is true or not.
So facts came before truth? Facts? Yes. They did. So truth is not eternal.
Truth is, it's abstract.
Is truth eternal? Okay, I like that you say abstract, so it's not